Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. It's the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 29th of June. The first news is NHRC advisory on human right of the truck driver. Second, that is G7 plan to counter One Belt, One Road initiative. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu. Third, rate adjustment loom as GST Council meet. We'll see the detail about this as well. Fourth, Coast Guard squadron in Porbandar. We'll see about the light utility vehicles, helicopters basically. And the last is an editorial preparing for the 5G. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. Starting with the first news of the day, that is NHRC advisory on human right of truck driver, something important for General Studies paper 2 in mains, that is government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. So recently the National Human Rights Commissions has issued an advisory to all state government, union territories and their administrator to protect the right of commercial truck driver, because we have seen the accident and after which the family of this truck driver are somewhere basically they do not get support from the system also. So this will ensure जो human right के अंदर जो चीजें हैं, basically the benefits that should be given to the truck driver should be imparted to them. So business and human right group with other stakeholder has expressed concern with regards to the plight of commercial truck driver and suggested a collaborative and pragmatic implementation of the serious safeguard to their rights. Now, rationale behind this advisory, why the NHRC has taken the cognizance in terms of protecting the truck drivers. So the NHRC, that is National Human Rights Commissions, while issuing the advisory has observed that the commercial truck driver, despite making a significant contribution to the economy, rightly they are someone who is entitled for, like truck drivers की अगर बात करें, उनमें अभी तक गवर्नमेंट ने adequate attentions नहीं दिए हैं, and when the truck business remain fragmented and unorganized. So this is the time, this is the need of the hour that a caution of policy would also be required to ensure that the truck drivers, the problem जो है उनको proper address की जाए. The majority of truck drivers do not get social security benefits, ना ही उनके provident fund में पैसे जमा होते हैं. Neither they get pension nor they have health insurance, life insurance or gratuity. So these are the things from which the truck drivers are exempted. So essentially it is required to include all these benefits, which is given to any people working for organized sectors, right? And even they work for a long working hour, they have lack of adequate rest and sleep and non-availability of clean and hygiene food because they need to travel time to time. और ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हर जगह आपको एक तरह की फूड क्वालिटी मिले. Somewhere you have to compromise also. That has a negative consequences to the health of the drivers also. Now, implementations of the advisory, कैसे इसे implement की जानी है? The NHRC has said, and it's letter to secretaries of the concerned union ministries, department, chief secretary of the states, administrator of the union territories, और उनसे बोला गया that you should recommend the advisory through the action taken report within 3 months. So possibly a right thing taken at the right time, and even if you're writing in mains paper, specifically in general studies paper 4, आप अगर आपसे ethics के case studies में कोई सवाल आते हैं, so make sure you quote this example, which is again going to help you, right? Now focus area की अगर बात करें, किन particular areas पे focus की गई by this action plan or the advisory. So the advisory focus on 4 key areas by the center, state and union administration. First is to ensure protection from the exploitation. Second, provision of amenities to the driver. Third, provision of social economic security. This is ensuring giving the health benefit, gratuity, PF and other benefits. Physical and mental well-being of the commercial truck drivers. So these are the four areas, broad areas upon which the complete advisory evolved. Now कुछ और recommendations जो दिए गए हैं NHRC के द्वारा. So some of the important recommendations that include amendment to the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988 to provide a mandatory purchase of the personal accident cover for an amount not less than 15 lakh for each driver's co-driver, helper and commercial truck, right? Now purchase of cashless treatment to the driver's co-driver, helper injured in anticipated road accident in any year. These are some of the other recommendations that was given. The third is establish full equipped trauma centers at regular interval along with the highway to extend the emergency to the victim of the road accident. So these were other recommendations that was also given by the NHRC, and this should be, in a letter and a spirit, this should be implemented at the earliest. Some awareness drive is again very important. So the National Human Rights Commission said that there is a need to launch a special drive for awareness to register all truck drivers, co-drivers and helper are on the part of e-Shram portal. Government के कुछ ऐसे benefits हैं जिनके बारे में उनको पता नहीं है, they are not actually aware of the fact. So some of the benefits under Pradhan Mantri Ayush Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana as well as Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana and old age protection under Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. So these are some of the benefits that should be availed and must be availed by this truck driver, but the only point that is lacking is the awareness that is not there, right? So कुछ awareness drive करने की जरूरत है ताकि ये benefits उन लोगों तक भी पहुंच पाए. Now the other news, G7 plan to counter Belt and Road Initiative of China, something important for General Studies Paper 2 in mains, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India's and affecting India's interest. So recently the US President along with the G7 allies has unveiled an ambitious partnership which is known as Global Infrastructure and Investment. This is very, very important for your prelims as well as mains examination. Make sure you are thorough with the entire points. And even for interview purposes, this is going to help you, right? So, अगर बात करें इस initiative की, this is Partnership for the Global Infrastructure and Investment, which is also known as PGII. So the US has announced a collective mobilizations. This value for the investment is 600 billion by 2027, and this is going to be a game changing, and it will call for a transparent infrastructure project to develop in the middle or low income countries, basically developing and middle income countries. Now PGII is being seen as G7 counter to China multi-trillion Belt and Road Initiative to build connectivity infrastructure trade project in Asia, Europe, Africa और Latin America, क्योंकि इसकी जो expansion है BRI की वो ज़्यादा की गई है. Now G7 members and are looking forward to counter such initiative which is taken by the China. Now what is PGII? So Partnership for the Global Infrastructure and Investment was first unveiled by the G7 leaders in 2021 as a plan to lower aid the middle income countries and build a better infrastructure for them. This is the main rationale behind this initiative. And since it was first announced, PGII has been viewed to counter China's Belt and Road Initiative, which is also known as BRI. Now, US along with the G7 partners, which include UK, Japan, France, Canada, Germany, Italy and European Union, had announced that the launch of Build Back Better World, इससे पहले ये इनिशिएटिव पे काम की जा रही थी जिसको B3W भी कहा जाता था, which has aimed to narrow of 40 trillion infrastructure gap which is arising. But जो advanced version launch की गई है PGII, this is only the advanced version of Build Back Better World. So PGII is therefore the relaunched of P3W plan, right? So if it is being asked in examination, आप इससे correlate कर पाएंगे कि जब US ने पहले बिल्ड बैक बेटर वर्ल्ड बनाने की बात की गई थी, तो उसके बाद जो रिवैम्प वर्जन आई है वो PGII के फॉर्मेट में आई है. नाउ PGII एंड द एडवांटेजेस फॉर इंडिया. PGII benefits developed country, particularly India, offering finance and decarbonization efforts, जहाँ पे इंडिया के एंटरप्रेन्योर्स एंड कंपनीज आर वर्किंग टू इंक्रीज द फूड सिक्योरिटी and improve the rural economy, would also be benefited from the global infrastructure and investment partnership. The G7 members aims to collectively mobilize $600 billion by 2027 to invest in a sustainable and quality infrastructure project, which include country in India and strengthening the global supply chain. The US ने announced किया है that country pledged to channel almost 200 billions in grant in public finances capital over the next 5 years for the PGII. Now project under the PGII कुछ चार ऐसे priorities area हैं जो कि रखे गए हैं इसमें. So this priority area is again specifically important for your mains exam. The first priority area is G7 grouping aims to tackle climate crisis and ensure global energy security throughout providing a clean energy supply chain. This is the first and foremost priority. Second, the project will focus on bolstering the digital information and communication technology, जहाँ पे ये facilitate करेंगे 5G और 6G के networks को. Although 5G is going to be implemented in India very soon, the plan has been ready. Third, the project aims to advance gender equality and equity. Last but not least, that the fourth, to build and upgrade the global health infrastructure. After the COVID-19 pandemic, it is evident across the world that healthcare infrastructure and amenities is the basic necessity required. Now, PGII की comparison करेगा China की BRI से. So, Belt and Road project that was started for the connectivity, trade, infrastructure along with China, ancient Silk Road. Now, China has announced two prolonged approach to build Silk Road initiative on land. This is the 21st century initiative taken by the Chinese government. And the project initially aimed at strengthening the connectivity Southeast Asia, but later expanded to South and Central Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America. So Western countries have noted the expansion of the BRI, and the reason being they wanted the counter to China, and they have launched PGII. Now G7 meanwhile specifically touted the PGII as a value-based plan to underfund the low and middle income countries to meet their infrastructure requirement or needs. This focus on the climate actions, I'm specifically talking about PGII, clean energy, while China has built large coal plant under the BRI with solar, hydro and wind energy projects. The studies also shown that 89% of the contractor participating in the BRI project are Chinese. So this is hugely more or less a China dominated project. Although this is expanded in many other countries, but it is being found that जो 89% contractor हैं या फिर जो उनके promoters हैं, they are Chinese only. While G7 leader emphasize on transparency is the cornerstone of the PGII, and the BRI faced criticism from making countries sign confidential tender for extending massive loan and even leaving countries in debt to China. तो China इतनी ज़्यादा investment कर दे रही है जिसके बाद वो country कभी भी उनको वापस कर्ज चुका नहीं पा रहे और indebtedness में चले जा रहे हैं. The same has happened recently with Sri Lanka. Right? श्रीलंका के साथ भी अभी recently ऐसा हुआ जहाँ पे वो इतनी debt उन्होंने ले ली कि वापस वो repay नहीं कर पाए. And they've seen a huge repercussion to that as well. Now the other news, rate adjustment loom as GST Council meets, something important for General Studies Paper 3, Indian economy and issues related to mobilization, resource growth and development. So the Goods and Services Council has learned to have accepted an interim report on the rationalization of tax that is submitted by the group of ministers headed by the Karnataka Chief Minister. The meeting is ongoing. Yesterday only the meeting started. This is 2-day meeting, and today this meeting is going to end. Right after the meeting end, there would be some information that would be saved in public domain. Possibly tomorrow we'll cover that in news as well, because this is going to be important both for prelims and mains examination. The Finance Minister chaired the proceeding of the council, and they have convened. This is the first meeting of the GST Council in 2022, which will announce its outcome very soon. Today, it is expected that the government will announce it. Now, plan for the merger of several taxes slabs. This was already anticipated, and recommendation was also sent. So the group of ministers has also tasked with considering the merger of the tax slabs. That is, the longer overhaul has been put with view concern and the high inflations. For now, the panel mooted the dropping exemptions on some of the items, tweaking rate for the goods and services plaguing by an inverted duty structure. So until and unless we have clear-cut idea what government is doing, we cannot comment on this at this point of time. Now, demand for the extension of GST compensation We know that when GST was put in place way back in 2017, it was the compensation that was supposed to get for 5 years, that is for 2022, and it is about to end this year only. But बहुत सारे states ने ये कहा है, वो oppose कर रहे हैं इस rule को, and they wanted that the compensation should continue for another 5 years. Let's see what government is deciding. Alternatively, they have mooted an increase in the share of the GST revenue as well, और अपने GST जो शेयर्स हैं, जो शेयर्स में शेयर्स की जाती हैं, उसमें भी रेवेन्यू बढ़ाने की बात की है. Chhattisgarh commercial tax minister said that this was particularly vital for manufacturing and mining state, which were not the large consumers. Now, Coast Guard Squadron in Porbandar, something important for General Studies Paper 3, achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology, and developing of new technology. Now, in a bid to strengthen Indian Coast Guard in the northwest, the Advanced Light Helicopter, which is known as ALH MK III squadron, was commissioned by the Director General of Indian Coast Guard at Porbandar in Gujarat. You can see this is a MK3 helicopters that has been recently commissioned. Now, this is an initiative towards Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. The commissioning of the squadron marked a tremendous leap towards the self-reliance India in terms of defense, specifically in field of search and rescue, which is also known as SAR, maritime surveillance, and in line with the government vision of the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, the Advanced Light Helicopter, that is MK3 squadron, was commissioned by the DGIC PS Patania, right? This name might be important for any other competitive examination, although they will never ask you the name directly. As many as 13 ALH Mark III aircraft has been inducted in the ICG, basically, in the phased manner. That is, 4 of this has been postnized at Porbandar in Gujarat. Now, about the ALH MK3 helicopters. So this has been initially manufactured by the Hindustan Aeronautical Limited. This is again a factually important point to be noted. And the feature is state-of-art equipment. Some of the advanced features include radars. Apart from it, it has electro-optical sensor, Shakti engines, full glass cockpit, high-intensity searchlight, advanced communication system, automatic identification system, and search and rescue homer. So these are some of the advanced state-of-art technology that has been used in the MK3 helicopters. Now, this feature enabled them to undertake the maritime reconnaissance, where they will carry out the rescue in extended range while the operating ships both at day and night. So these are the features that the MK3 helicopter have. And the aircraft has the ability to switch roles from being an offensive platform with a healthy machine gun, and that carried out a medical extents unit to facilitate transfer to the critically ill patient also. So it can also be acting as a helicopter where it can provide the critically ill patient essentially required by the forces, right? So this is how this would be executed. Moving to the editorial of the day, that is preparing for the 5G, something important for General Studies Paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. So under this editorial, I'll be giving you a brief about 5 important subtopics, that is 5G technology roadmap, BharatNet Phase 3, optical fiber manufacturing capacity, global price competitions and discriminations, and the way forward. The entire editorial focuses upon the 5G roadmap. So did you understand this editorial in detail? Internet connectivity की अगर बात करें, it's a critical for making Digital India project inclusive. Widespread use of optical fiber in the remotest corner of the country is vital to ensure that no one is left behind in this endeavor. गवर्नमेंट ने काफ़ी ऐसे इनिशिएटिव स्टार्ट किए हैं जिसके थ्रू ऑप्टिकल फाइबर की कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाने की बात की गई है. Now with over 117 crore telecom users and more than 82 crore internet subscriber, India is the fastest growing market in the digital consumer. As per the McKinsey study, India has the second fastest digitalization economy. You can quote this type of statement in the examination also. Now, 5G technology roadmap की अगर बात करें, 5G technology is going to be enrolled in the country very soon. Although government ने spectrum इसे allowed की है, it is expected by this month end or the next month they will be rolling out. Network equipped that relies on the optical fiber and other semiconductor based devices ecosystem are at the heart of building infrastructure project that will be needed when country takes the next step in its digital journey. Now, the government has taken several measures to build the next generation of digital infrastructures. भारत नेट फेज 3 की अगर बात करें, दिस इज अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इनिशिएटिव बाय गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया टू इंश्योर कि जो ब्रॉडबैंड कनेक्टिविटी है वो इंटीरियर ऑफ इंडिया में पहुंचे, और 2.5 लाख पंचायत को इसमें कनेक्ट करने की बात की गई है बाय डिप्लॉइंग हाई क्वालिटी फाइबर्स और ऑप्टिकल फाइबर्स. The basic requirement of 5G will be the data transmission network, and even the optical fiber is a backbone for the digital infrastructure required for this, जहाँ पे data transmit की जाएगी by light plus traveling through the long extended and thin fibers. भारत नेट प्रोजेक्ट की जो फेज 3 इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है उसके बाद कई ऐसे गांव होंगे, विलेजेस होंगे, ग्राम पंचायत होंगे जो कि ऑप्टिकल फाइबर से कनेक्टेड होंगे. Now, optical fiber manufacturing capacity की अगर बात करें, Indian manufacturer have a strong presence across the value chain. पिछले 10 सालों में ये देखा गया है कि जो domestic manufacturers हैं, they have invested more than 5,000 crore in this industry, and they have generated direct and indirect employment to 4 lakh individual. Now, India exported optical fiber worth of 134 million over 132 countries between April 20 to November 2021. So this is a timeline where the profit was actually made in 132 countries, amounting to $138 million. India, in its annual optic manufacturing capacity, has around 100 million fiber kilometers. This is also known as FKM. In the domestic consumptions, around 46 million fiber kilometers. Now, Indian optical fiber cable consumptions की बात करें, this is predicted to be around 33 million fiber kilometers by 2026 and 17 million kilometer addition. Initially, it is 17 million, जो 17 million fiber kilometers है 2021 में, और ये आगे बढ़ करके 33 million fiber kilometers हो जाएंगी. So this is projections about the optical fiber manufacturing capacity and industries. Now, global price competitions और discriminations की अगर बात करें, it is anticipated कि जो domestic market है इंडिया की वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा ग्रो कर रही है, बट अगेन इट इज़ इम्पैक्टेड बाय द market that we have seen from China, Indonesia and South Korea, because these countries giving an unfair competition to the market. Why? Because they are dumping their product in India at very low price, and World Trade Organization defined dumping as an international price discrimination situation, which is a price of a product that is offered to a country less than what the price is actually costing for manufacturing also. तो बहुत ही कम प्राइस में चाइना, इंडोनेशिया और साउथ कोरिया से प्रोडक्ट को इंपोर्ट की जा रही है, एंड इवन the India's domestic manufacturing is severely impacted due to this. Imposing anti-dumping duty is one of the way to protect the domestic industry. तो अगर गवर्नमेंट इस पे anti-dumping duties लगाएगी तभी ये इंडस्ट्रीज को थोड़ा सेव किया जा सकता है. Now, way forward, India need to invest in research and development, offer product-linked incentive schemes to support indigenous high-tech manufacturing to develop intellectual property, and even critics aspect the digital connectivity. The need of the hour is to unlock the full potential of the optical fibers, जहाँ पे ये enable किया जाए ताकि जो मेजर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं 5G टेक्नोलॉजी से रिलेटेड वो इंडिया को और आत्मनिर्भर भारत के थ्रू बेसिकली पिच करें, एंड दे शुड कंटिन्यू देयर 5G जर्नीज. Digital infrastructure is critical to India's growth story or country's toward thrust in the self-reliance. So it is evident that until and unless we have digital infrastructure, the completion project of the 5G journey would be left behind, right? तो ये ज़रूरी है कि 5G के बाद जो 6G सर्विसेज हो, 7G सर्विसेज हो, उनके लिए डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप्ड. So this is how you can conclude. If you're writing this in mains paper, you can write this type of way forward or conclusion in your paper. Moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of your study question. For first question, the correct option is A. For second question, the correct option is A again. Today's MCQ for practice. New umbrella entities for retail payments. Only those entities that are owned and controlled by Indian citizen with at least 3 years of experience for the payment segment can become the promoter of NUEs. And no foreign investment is allowed in NU with the existing guideline. So do check it out for the correct options. Second, with regards to electoral bond, all nationalized India bank can authorize to issue the in-cash bond, which is valid for 15 days from the date of issuance. And these bonds are remittable at the designated account of the registered political parties. So this type of question again might be relevant for your prelims examination. You have to be thorough with the points and you have to be a broad idea about the concepts. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.